Hello RC airplane friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm down in the basement today and the workbench is clear because the airplane that was to be here is actually in the back of my car waiting to go to an event tomorrow. But this is not about the event, it's about the airplane's maiden just a couple of days ago. And a postscript on some more issues I have discovered besides the broken servo, one of which you're going to pay very close attention to. I hope it has to do with the motor mount in this airplane. I also added some weight to the tail to get it to balance correctly. As you will see in the video, I had a landing that was somewhat less than ideal, although the airplane survived it quite well, but I did not have sufficient elevator to make a proper tail low, nose high landing. It just kind of plopped onto the runway, but you'll see that here in a minute. And that will be followed by a picture of what I did to balance the airplane and the video showing the loose motor mount and how I have tried to fix it. I have flown it since. It seems to be doing just fine. In fact, just yesterday I took it out and flew it. So let's get to it. Let's get to the video, and there will be no end to this. So I'm going to say right now, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your summer. Okay, here's the maiden video. In the interest of full disclosure, this is a voiceover dubbed in after the fact. T28 is ready to go. Takeoff flaps are set. I've run ground tracking to make sure it was going to actually track straight without a lot of excess rudder. Notice it was trying to turn left, and I was correcting with right rudder. Here we go around. I knew the airplane was nose heavy when I took off, but I didn't realize how much of an effect it was going to have on the flight characteristics. I had the elevator set to dead neutral, wound up with almost full up trim to get it to fly level, which is obviously not ideal. So later on, I'm going to show you how I fixed that with some weight in the tail. Only 1.5 ounces, but after that it balanced perfectly. A little split S action down below the top of the trees, and cruising by gear up. Came out of the frame there for a second. Just a couple of turns, just testing things out, checking out elevator trim, rudder trim, aileron trim. I had a slight little bit of aileron trim to put in to stop a roll. I had to use some rudder trim to get it to track straight on the ground too, which I later fixed by, while it was tracking straight, I took the elevator, or the rudder control loose and recentered it. One nice thing about nose wheel airplanes, you can adjust ground track pretty easily. Just center up the nose wheel and then adjust the rudder. It's not too much. Okay, here we go. Some nice turns. And we're going to come around, and actually I want to make a low pass just to test out the elevators. And I noticed right away that it's probably going to have a problem kind of getting down on the mains. So here come the wheels down, deployed normally. A little bit gusty today. But here's the low pass. It was going to be a landing, but tried to get the nose up and it was still coming down pretty hard. So we're going to come around again, this time with a little more power and a little more speed to get more elevator effect. And you'll see that here in just a second. I did land it, but it's just a plop. It was not a proper main wheels first, roll out, then the nose wheel. Plop. Yep. But nothing broke. Okay, that's it. Okay, here we got an issue. Sure how well this is going to show up, but this motor mount is loose. Okay, in an attempt to fix that loose motor mount, I took some medium foam safe CA and injected it all around the front side edge and the back side. Stuck the spout in there and squeezed in all I could, and it seems to have really tightened it up. I've also installed my Avian ESC in here, mainly to get voltage reporting, but also for eventually probably set it up for thrust reversal. This model doesn't seem to really need that. To do that, I had to actually put an extension on the receiver cable, but it's right up and works fine. So here's what it took to get the airplane to balance. Those are 0.25 ounce, 7 gram, 6 of them, lead weights. There's a spot in the back of this airplane where there's already cut into the foam. Now, originally here was a piece of the rudder that's not really needed. So I cut that out. It was hidden anyway. And these 6 weights fit in there perfectly. I didn't even have to take any additional foam out. And they are hidden by the horizontal stabilizers fairing. So you don't even know they're there unless you look very, very closely. And this balanced the model perfectly. As I mentioned earlier, it is impossible to get this model to balance correctly using battery location because it's nose heavy and the battery is all the way back in the fuselage as far as it would go, limited by a wooden tray that holds a servo bus that everything hooks into, including the wings. Flying it afterwards, it was much easier to get the nose up. I was able to eliminate, by the way, most of that nose up trim I had from the Maiden and put the elevators back to pretty much normal. But more importantly, this gives you the correct balance to get the nose high for a good wheels first landing before the nose wheel touches down. If you don't do this, you're going to have some issues with that nose wheel right away. Why in the world FMS didn't see this, I have no idea, but maybe it could be because they recommended a 2200 4S battery for this airplane, but 3200 I think works a lot better, and it will take a 3200 6S. So if you buy this airplane, be very careful about the nose heavy tendencies if you put a bigger battery in it than maybe it was designed for. And here is a quick and easy solution. Just put a little glue of some kind to hold these in place, put the vertical stab back on, and you're set to go. Thanks again for watching.